All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ryan Jones, and today I'm going to give you this presentation on exercise addiction within sports. So let's get into it. Oh, all right, so first off, we want to talk about what is exercise addiction. So we have a simple definition of exercise addiction can threaten health, causing injuries, as well as physical damage due to inadequate rest, malnutrition, and other problems. Exercising too much for too long without giving a body the chance to recover is the main purpose of exercise addiction. So it's really focusing on always exercising for way too long and never giving your body a chance to recover. And then those who are addicted to exercise will also use exercising as a way of coping with stress and other life problems, whether it's good or bad. They always resort to exercise. That's their vice, that's their outlet, and it's their way of coping with a lot of things that go on in life. So being addicted to it, and then that big part of never giving your body a chance to recover, that's huge. So moving on to the next part, is the signs in the negative signs of effects of exercise addiction. So being a coach, you really want to pick up on some of these negative signs, and you want to know and have knowledge of these negative effects as well, because when you see it among your athletes, you want to be able to address that and stop it as soon as possible. So some of the negative effects we have in exercise addiction would be that it causes pain and injury from overuse. So you're just constantly overworking your body, never giving it a chance to recover. And typically you are exercising while injured and doing things among those things. So it causes a lot of pain and injury from overusing your body. Also, a negative sign would be that it impacts your social impairment. You basically don't have any social uh you have no social time because all you want to do is exercise. So it impacts your social impairment and your social ability, your social skills. Um, it also can impact anxiety and depression. When you don't get that exercise, when you're addicted to it and you don't get it for a day or something like that for some time, it can give you into some really deep withdrawals and it can cause depression because you're so addicted to something and you're not getting it. You become depressed. Also, it can it can affect your heart and cause heart problems because the fluctuity, I can't even say it, the fluctuity of the of how your heart rate fluctuates. It during how during all the exercise that you're putting yourself through causes so many heart problems, and it is not good for your body to be fluctuating your heart rate multiple times throughout your day. Um, so heart problems among athletes, among anybody, is never a good sign, and it's something you really want to address early on. And then another negative effect from exercise addiction could be extreme weight loss. Um, for obvious reasons, if you are exercising way too often, it can impact your diet and make your weight loss way more extreme than normal. So being addicted to exercise definitely does have its downsides. Um, I know exercise is always viewed as something that is beneficial and super good and healthy for your body, but when you are not doing it in the right way and properly giving your body a rest, um, exercise addiction can definitely be negative and not beneficial whatsoever. Next on, we have the signs of exercise addiction. So, as a coach, you really want to pick up on some of these signals. If you see it early on, you want to address it. So, some of these signs is always following the same rigid exercise patterns. Some people can get self-fixated on doing the same exact thing and not changing up their schedule or their patterns. And that just causes a lot of wear and tear on the same muscles when you're doing the same rigid exercise patterns and you're always being vigorous movements, you're never slowing it down, never making it easier. Um, that can cause a lot of wear and tear on the body. Also, exercising for more than 2 hours daily and then repeating it also can cause a lot of wear and tear to the body. um, Fixation on weight loss or burning calories. When you're so fixated on burning calories and losing weight, um, it's not good. It's not good. You don't always want to be exercising for those two reasons. You want to also gain muscle and do other things. So you can't just do the same movements all the time. Um, you can't just run. You can't just do, you have to do other movements, incorporate weights and other things, not just exercise for weight loss and burning calories. Also, exercising while sick or injured. A lot of people who are addicted to exercise do not care if they're sick or if they're injured. They will work through those injuries or the sickness, and that's never good for your body. That's never good for your health and well-being. Also, exercising to the point of pain. That's kind of when they know when to stop. So when you're addicted to exercise, you don't want to stop, right? So as soon as you start feeling pain or you feel something where you're, I gotta stop, that's when they finally stop their workout for the day and then continue it, tomorrow. So exercising to the point of pain and having pain being your way of stopping your exercise is a very, very good tell that you are addicted to exercising. And then also skipping your responsibilities for workouts. So when you're skipping class, skipping work, skipping certain appointments, forgetting about things, just to work out, that is a very big tell that you are addicted to exercise as well. And then I incorporated this little image right here that says exercise addiction occurs when exercise becomes a compulsion or obsession that throws off the balance of your life. So if the balance of your life is getting thrown off because you are exercising too much, that is a sign that you are addicted to exercise. All right, so moving on to some of the risk factors we have in exercise addiction. So we have compulsive exercise, and that's defined as it happens when a person is driven to exercising too much. So this causes injury, illnesses, going out with friends, or bad weather. All those things do not stop a person who compulsively exercises. So you even like we were just talking about is you're risking yourself, right? When you're exercising with an injury, with an illness, your athletes are never going to recover properly when you're doing stuff like that. And then this is just also just from a mental standpoint, going out with friends, being with family, um, when you're not spending time doing those things mentally, and you're just exercising, you don't get that good sense of being around your friends and family. You don't get the time of that because all you want to do is exercise. And then bad weather doesn't even stop you. If you exercise outside and you're a runner, uh, and there's a heavy rainstorm, that weather does not stop you from working out, which is crazy. That's somebody who compulsively exercises and is addicted. Um, and then also the pressure from society to have a perfect body that may push someone to exercise compulsively to achieve an unrealistic standard. Um, Society and the social pressure of the social norms to achieve a certain body image uh, definitely pressures us and risks our and it is a risk to our body and our health and well-being when we are addicted to exercise. And then difficulty dealing with stress or negative emotions may also increase an individual's risk of being addicted to exercise. And then I have this fun little image on here to the right of overcoming exercise addiction and making workouts fun, how to schedule, uh, how to have other people hold you accountable as well, not just doing stuff alone. So there's a lot of things that you can do that we'll talk about later to help you steer yourself away from being addicted to exercise. So next we have the phases of exercise addiction. So we have phase one, which is a recreational stage. This is where the motivation for exercise is enjoyment and fitness improvement. So when we start our exercise, we're doing it for recreational purposes. And it's just for the enjoyment of loving the exercise or loving the game of what we do or something like that. Um, and then also we just want to improve our fitness. So being in shape, being physically able to play a full game in whatever sport that we may be playing. Um, that's our first phase of exercise addiction. That's kind of where it begins. Then after that is kind of where our risk exercise begins, our reliance of the mood altering effects of exercise. So we rely on on our mood altering the effects of our exercise. Um, and then into phase three, we have our problematic exercise, where life is scheduled around exercising. You typically plan everything around your exercise schedule, and the motivation is a desire to escape withdrawal symptoms. So you're often using exercise to escape from a lot of the symptoms that you feel in everyday life. And then in our phase four, we have exercise addiction. When you are incorporating all three stages, and then you get to this exercise addiction part, it's where life revolves around exercise frequency. The volume and intensity increases to achieve the same level of satisfaction. So you are not happy or satisfied until you reach a certain amount of exercise frequency a day. And that's how you know that you are simply addicted to exercise. And then next we have the exercise addiction in sports. So we have the first challenge for coaches is how to identify the that participate in addictive behaviors away from training competition. So it's how to identify how my athlete is addicted to exercise. And that's kind of the challenge is identifying when your athlete is addicted to something like that, um, and how to address it. So that's kind of like the first challenge of exercise addiction from a coach's standpoint. And then also athletes have a much higher possibility of having a developing secondary exercise dependence, which is also connected to eating disorders or other unhealthy eating habits or exercise habits. Um, so athletes are definitely in a higher possibility of getting addicted to exercise for sure. And then a majority of athletes can go only a few weeks without exercising before they have some type of withdrawal symptom. Uh, so uh, Division 1 athletes or professional athletes who typically need to work out every day because they are trying to get better at their craft. Um, those athletes could really only go a few weeks without having some type of withdrawal symptom of wanting to play their sport or wanting to exercise in some sort of way to get better. Um, Yeah, so it's really hard to get a control of some of those things, but as a coach, it's important to try to pick up on some of those signals, those challenges to identify if your athlete is addicted to exercising um, early on before it gets to a serious point. All right, next we have exercise addiction statistics in athletes. So first off, I want to just talk about the image here at the bottom, the pyramid. So it's basically your dependence level on exercise and when you become addicted. So it's when you have 1 to 2 hours of exercise a day, that's kind of a low dependence. Like I gotta get some type of movement in with my day. Then we have a low dependence of 3 to 4 hours a day. Then picking up to medium of 5 to 6 hours a day, and then when you become to get addicted is past 7 to 8 hours, 9 to 10 hours a day of exercise, which is crazy to think about. But some people are within that realm. So some statistics we have is competitive athletes who develop an obsession, passion, and dedication to sports are at a much higher risk of exercise addiction. Um, Compared to the general public or leisure exercisers, exercise addiction rates in sports are significantly higher. So these athletes are definitely more uh, have a more possibility of becoming addicted to exercise. And then competitive and gym goers are at a much higher risk of developing exercise addiction as well. Those people who love to go to the gym, love to lift weights, who don't necessarily play a sport or are a athlete of any sort in that type of realm, are definitely still at a high risk of developing exercise addiction, um, because those type of athletes can get addicted to certain things like lifting weights or doing something like that at the gym. And then, so from a coaching standpoint, this is kind of how to treat exercise addiction. So we have psychotherapy. So psychotherapy really helps a lot getting athletes into that, or um, just approaching them and letting them know and acknowledging them what it is and showing them what it's about can help change beliefs and behavior. It addresses self-esteem issues, and it also addresses disordered body image with addiction. So psychotherapy definitely can help, especially when you are talking to the right professional. Treatment would not immediately resolve compulsive issues, especially when it gets really, really bad and really scheduled to the point where you need to have it 24/7. But it will help with exercise addiction. Like it starts in a recovery process. It's a start to your process of recovery and incorporating recovery and teaching you how to not be addicted to exercising and giving your body the proper amount of rest. So that's also important right there, incorporating the rest into your schedule. It's also important to avoid exercise trips to the gym, like excessive exercise trips to the gym. Sorry, you don't want to go to the gym way too many times. And then it also is important to limit workout time and amount of daily exercise. As a coach, you want to keep your athletes under control and not let them overwork their bodies, and incorporating that proper rest into each one of their schedules. It's definitely important. So thank you for listening to my presentation uh, on the excessive addiction to exercise, and I hope you had a thoughtful time and learned something new. And thank you.